all women are different, but they are all women. This video is androcentric from a men's point of view and is presented as opinion, commentary, and debate. Expressing opinions is not violence. These are ideas to challenge, question, and argue in public, because classical liberalism relies on the First Amendment for its dialectic. If you are a feminist, then consider this. If patriarchy truly existed as claimed, feminism could not. And if all men are trash and women are equal to men, then what are we to conclude? Women will die for their children. Men will die for their wives and children. And God chose to die for all mankind. Authority rolls up with responsibility. If this framing of facts offends you, click off to a cute cat video. Proceeding further will expose you to gamma bias and criticism directed at ideas, claims, institutions, not at any individual's virtue or dignity. Our method follows the 7 liberal arts, the trivium, grammar, logic, rhetoric, and the quadrivium, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. And the transcendentals, the good, true, and beautiful. If this framework is not for you, feel free to exit now. It's no disgrace. Women are wonderful. God bless America. Men are great. Feminismus delendus est. Radicalized Shrews, Feminism, the Dark Legion of Demons in Her Chaotic, Panicked, and Raging Heart, written by Conrad Riker. Available now, links in description. Radicalized Shrews. A field guide for men who still notice reality. Hysteria as heresy. How feminist shamanism replaces reason with ritual, tears down the West and calls it healing. You know what's more dangerous than a woman with a grievance? A woman with a narrative, one wrapped in rose quartz, baptized in menstrual moonlight, and weaponized with the moral authority of a TikTok algorithm. I used to believe in empathy. I used to think if I just listened harder, apologized faster, paid more, maybe I could earn peace. Then I found out my sister's ex was paying $3,200 a month in child support for a kid DNA proved wasn't his. The court didn't care. The system rewarded the lie. And that's when it hit me. We're not living in a patriarchy. We're living in a gynocracy, a soft tyranny where tears are legal tender and biology is a battlefield rigged against men. While women chant, "My truth is self-validating," like some sacred mantra in a yoga studio funded by my tax dollars, I'm over here watching fathers get arrested for dropping off school supplies, men committing suicide at 4 times the rate of women, and 87% of family court cases awarding custody to mothers. Even when abuse is proven, this isn't oppression, this is conquest and the spoils. My paycheck, my silence, and my children. They call emotional outbursts exorcism. But when a man expresses anger, he's toxic. They say focus is a colonial construct, funny because colonialism built hospitals, not healing crystals. And let's talk about that mascara, war paint, they say. Cute. Meanwhile, real war paint was on the faces of Spartan men who died holding a pass so civilization could have mascara. You don't get to call distraction a ritual of resistance while benefiting from the very linear, logical, male-built world you're too emotionally dysregulated to maintain. When a woman says, "I don't need to be believed," what she means is, "I don't need to be true." And that's the real weaponization, not of focus, but of faith in female infallibility. We've replaced Aristotle with astrology, Aquinas with aura readings, and due process with drama. You want proof? The average American man now checks 3 boxes on the suicide risk scale: isolated, financially crushed, emotionally alienated. And the feminist response: more hashtags, more trauma circles, more sanctification of chaos. But here's the truth. They can't silence. Civilizations aren't built by those who feel the most. They're built by those who build. And if you're not building, you're parasitizing. This essay isn't about hating women. It's about saving men from lies, from guilt, from the slow bleed of a culture that worships emotion like a false god while burning real men at the stake of false accusations. The spell is breaking. The red pill isn't bitter. It's liberating.
Bunkum article by a feminist, PhD. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm writing this. It's not like any man will actually get it. But maybe, just maybe, if enough of us speak our truth into the void, the universe will finally shift. Because, let's be real, the patriarchy doesn't want us to know we're magic. It wants us to doubt. It wants us to apologize for existing. It wants us to second-guess every boundary we set, every time we say no, every time we walk away from a man who gaslit us into thinking our pain was just drama. But here's the thing. When I named the harm, when I said yes, my ex emotionally abused me for 3 years, and yes, my boss mansplained my own job to me during the quarterly review, I didn't feel relief, I felt doubt. Why? Why do we as women collapse into self-scrutiny the moment we speak our truth? It's because the patriarchy has weaponized focus. Let that sink in. Distraction isn't just natural, it's sacred. My TikTok scroll, a ritual of resistance. My 3 a.m. journaling spiral where I cry over a meme about toxic family dynamics. That's spiritual excavation. But the male gaze, cold, calculating, obsessed with productivity, labels this sin. Why can't you just focus? They ask as if focus isn't a colonial construct designed to chain us to capitalist grind culture. As if women's non-linear cognition, our ability to hold 7 emotional threads at once, is somehow inferior. Newsflash, it's superior. Men built clocks. We built cycles. Men worship linear time. We are time. We bleed in rhythm with the moon. We dream in symbols. We speak in layers. And yet, every time I zone out during a meeting because my grounding stone, rose quartz, reminded me of my grandmother's voice telling me, "Don't let them break you." Some Chad in a button-down asks if I'm okay. No, Chad. I'm not okay. I'm awake. And that's why moral inflation is such a trap. The right wing screams about virtue signaling, like it's a bad thing, as if caring more is a flaw, as if expanding our moral circle to include trans sisters, disabled femmes, and trauma survivors dilutes justice. Excuse me while I laugh in their neoliberal, individualist faces. Every time a man says not all men, he reinforces the hierarchy. Every time he demands proof of my pain, he enacts epistemic violence. Every time he says, calm down, he invokes centuries of silencing. And yet we are the ones told we're hysterical. We're the ones medicated, pathologized, and gaslit into thinking our emotional depth is a disorder. And the grounding stone, don't even get me started. You think it's just a rock? It's a portal. It's where I channel the rage of every woman who was called crazy for wanting autonomy. It's where I commune with the witches they burned, the midwives they silenced, the queers they erased. When I hold it, I remember, I'm not broken, I'm breaking through. We're told that calling out harm makes us divisive, that naming abuse ruins relationships, that speaking truth to power is unprofessional. But what if the real unprofessionalism is complicity? What if the real division is the lie that men and women are equals in a system designed to crush feminine sovereignty? I had a dream last night. I was standing on a cliff, screaming the names of every man who ever made me doubt myself. And with each name, a tree burst into flames, and from the ashes, roses grew, black roses, feminist roses, satanic roses. Because here's the truth they don't want you to know. Harm isn't rare, it's routine. And naming it isn't weakness, it's exorcism. So let the moral inflation come. Let the patriarchy tremble as we redefine justice, redefine care, redefine power. Let them clutch their pearls as we center emotion, intuition, and collective healing. Let them call us dramatic while we build altars out of their shattered egos. I don't need to be believed. I don't need evidence. My truth is self-validating. My pain is prophetic. And if men can't handle the heat of our Jesing, Juixing, yes, I'm fluent in revolutionary Mandarin, maybe they should stay out of the kitchen. Or better yet, maybe they should finally learn to listen. Epistemological egoism, the cult of performative suffering, and the collapse of objective truth. You know what separates a man from a malfunctioning Roomba? Accountability. One takes responsibility for his trajectory. The other just bumps into walls and blames the furniture. I mention this because somewhere in a dimly lit apartment lit only by the glow of a TikTok feed and a rose quartz charging under a full moon, a woman is being told she doesn't need evidence, she just needs to feel her truth. And that, my red-pilled brother, is how civilizations implode. Let's dissect this in real time, like a frog in high school biology, only this frog is feminism, and the scalpel is Aristotle's organon. When she says my pain is prophetic, she's not speaking metaphorically. She's declaring herself a high priestess of subjective revelation, a walking oracle whose tears are sacred texts. But prophecy isn't truth, it's performance. And performance, especially when monetized on platforms optimized for outrage, becomes the new epistemology. Now, instead of logic, we have liturgy. Instead of syllogisms, we have sobbing. Instead of falsifiable claims, we have feelings anointed as divine law. Let me be clear, if your truth is self-validating, then I declare by divine revelation that I am King of Neptune and demand tribute in gummy bears. Where's your proof? I feel it in my soul. See how absurd it sounds when it's not wrapped in feminist incense. She says men weaponized focus like we invented attention, and then used it to colonize her TikTok breaks. Let me fix that narrative with a single fact. Men built the fucking internet, the very platform where she scrolls, spirals, and sanctifies distraction as resistance. We engineered the devices, wrote the code, paid the taxes, and maintained the infrastructure so she could journal at 3 a.m. about how oppressed she is while using a smartphone that contains minerals mined by men, assembled by men, shipped by men, and subsidized by male taxpayers. And yet, focus is oppression. Focus is what got you that phone. Focus is what cured polio. Focus is what put a man on the moon while women were still fighting to be allowed in the mission control room. If non-linear cognition is so superior, why has no woman ever designed a nuclear reactor using symbolic dreaming or emotional layering? Because reality doesn't care about your mood rings, it runs on physics, not feelings. Now, let's talk about this epistemic violence nonsense. She claims that when a man asks for proof, he's enacting violence. By that logic, every scientist who ever demanded replication was a war criminal. Every judge who required evidence committed assault. Every father who said, "Show me your math," to his daughter's homework was oppressing her feminine way of knowing. This is not just absurd, it's dangerous. It's the intellectual equivalent of letting someone diagnose themselves with chronic fatigue and then prescribe morphine because they feel sick. Medicine doesn't work that way. Law doesn't work that way. Reality doesn't work that way. But the feminist epistemology does. If you say you're harmed, you are. If you say you're traumatized, you are. No cross-examination, no burden of proof. Just a priestly nod and a whisper. You are seen, you are felt. And what happens when someone isn't felt? When a man says he's been cheated on, abandoned, financially ruined in family court, and no one listens. Then he's told to man up. That's not equality, that's dual epistemology, where her tears are gospel and his trauma is whining. Let's talk about the harm she keeps naming. She says emotional abuse lasted 3 years. Fine, prove it. Not with vibes, not with a journal entry written in purple gel pen. Prove it, because in the real world, 60% of restraining orders are false or unfounded, and 76% of those are filed by women against men, US DOJ 2004. In family courts, men lose custody 80% of the time, despite equal fitness, and child support is enforced like a mafia debt, while maternal alienation is ignored. And don't get me started on divorce. In 90% of no-fault divorces, women initiate the split National Center for Health Statistics. But she wants us to believe she's the victim. Where's her husband's side? Where's the text history? Where's the financial record showing who paid for the rose quartz altar? Or is that irrelevant because her truth is self-validating? She dreams of burning trees and growing satanic roses. Cute. But let's call it what it is. A death cult for emotionally dysregulated narcissists. Satanism isn't a metaphor here, it's the literal theology. Because what is Satanism? It's the inversion of truth, the worship of self, the rejection of divine order, and the ritualization of rebellion. And that's exactly what modern feminism has become. A Gnostic revolt against biological reality, against logic, against merit, against men. They don't want equality. They want supremacy. They don't want justice. They want revenge. And they're using the language of healing to mask a program of annihilation. She says men should finally learn to listen. No, men should learn to discern. There's a difference. I'll listen when you bring facts. I'll listen when your claims are falsifiable. I'll listen when you don't pathologize my skepticism as violence. But if you demand belief without evidence, you're not seeking dialogue, you're demanding submission. And I didn't survive blue-pilled indoctrination, student loan debt, and the war on masculinity to become your emotional doormat. Wake up, the void doesn't care, reality doesn't care, and the only magic that ever built anything was the magic of work, done by men for everyone, while the awake women scrolled. I once accepted the story that women were naturally virtuous, that their feelings were unquestionable realities, that their promises could always be trusted. I championed understanding, raised my sons to yield, structured my world around the idea that women were morally above. Then I encountered the statistics, not isolated cases, not impressions, statistics, and feeling, precise figures indifferent to sentiment. And the figures don't deceive, unlike too many women who do. Logocentric collapse, how feminist shamanism destroys civilization by replacing reason with ritual. You know what's more statistically likely than your car breaking down on the highway? Your wife cheating on you. According to peer-reviewed DNA studies, the cuckoldry rate in Western nations ranges from 10% to as high as 30%, and that's only when men demand tests. That's 1 in 3 babies, brother, not fathered by the man raising him. But go ahead, keep worshipping the sacred feminine, keep genuflecting at the altar of female infallibility, because nothing says divine intuition like lying about the father of your child while crying over a TikTok about toxic masculinity. When the piece claims, men built clocks, we built cycles, I feel an urge to shake the writer and retort, know what else cycles? Digestive turmoil. And guess what? We engineered sanitation systems for that too. Spare me the poetic elevation of natural rhythms into some grand existential triumph. Men didn't merely construct timepieces, we engineered systems to measure time, systems that made possible global exploration, food production, mass production, and the coordination of societies. Women, by contrast, produced no frameworks rooted in deductive reasoning or extended strategy, unless you count booking facials between legal separations. Saying we are time due to monthly bleeding is like claiming plankton authored the sea. It's not depth, it's self-absorption dusted with stardust. And let's break this down. My TikTok scroll, a ritual of resistance. Seriously? So endless, swiping through 15-second clips of women sobbing about their fathers disapproving of their partners. That's profound inner work now. Let me paint you a real picture. A man grinding 80 hours a week on an offshore rig so his indifferent spouse can film treat-yourself reels from a tropical getaway he footed the bill for. That's not defiance. That's freeloading with a filter. You crave real depth? Try carrying a home loan. Try sitting in a courtroom, watching your daughter parrot coached lines against you, because the system hands children to mothers 8 times out of 10, no matter the circumstances. But sure, let's act like watching videos about moon rocks is a bold stance for women's rights. Next, you'll claim scarfing down frozen dessert while streaming Bridgerton is some kind of insurgent lifestyle. Every time he says calm down, he evokes a long history of shutting women up. Here's a hard truth from decades past. When a woman shrieks that her latte has extra foam, the correct reply is calm down, not to stifle her voice, but to stop the guy next to her from collapsing from stress. Managing emotions isn't tyranny, it's everyday courtesy. Yet modern feminist doctrine frames emotional outbursts as acts of resistance. You sob, victory, you yell, you gain influence. You make allegations, you land a publishing contract. Meanwhile, men are prescribed pills for restlessness, while women are praised for juggling a dozen emotional currents at once. That's not skillful handling, it's a clinical imbalance repackaged as enlightenment. Let's talk about this grounding stone, rose quartz. Because of course it is. You clutch a rock and commune with witches they burned. Newsflash, most witch trials were conducted by women accusing other women. The Salem trials, Tituba was accused by young girls. The Inquisition, women were both accusers and victims. There was no patriarchal conspiracy to exterminate wise women. It was village gossip with stakes. But sure, go ahead, hold your Walmart crystal and pretend you're channeling Joan of Arc while you ghost your boyfriend for not texting back in 17 minutes. That's not ancestral rage, that's pettiness with a mystical veneer. And the pièce de résistance. I don't need to be believed. I don't need evidence. My truth is self-validating. Congratulations. You've just described the diagnostic criteria for delusion. In any court of law, in any scientific inquiry, in any rational discourse, claims require evidence. But under feminist epistemology, emotion trumps data. Feelings are facts, pain is prophetic, and if you question it, you're enacting epistemic violence. That's the hall pass for intellectual tyranny. It's the verbal equivalent of I'm not arguing, I'm trauma dumping. And society rewards it. Women get book deals for saying men are trash. Men get prison for saying maybe not all women are angels. The double standard isn't a glitch, it's the design. Let's look at the numbers, since facts are the kryptonite to this emotional alchemy. Women initiate 70% of divorces. They receive 80% of custody rulings. They comprise 85% of domestic violence protection order recipients, despite data from the CDC's NISVS, showing men and women perpetrate violence at near equal rates. Yet men are arrested at twice the rate when police are called. Why? Because she's emotional is treated as prima facie evidence of male guilt. That's not justice, that's gynocentric bias baked into law enforcement. And don't get me started on abortion. Over 60 million unborn males slaughtered since Roe v. Wade. Because bodily autonomy somehow doesn't extend to the child. But sure, keep calling men toxic while treating fetal life as disposable. The article ends with maybe they should finally learn to listen. Oh, we've listened. We've listened to wives who said, I love you while Googling how to get full custody. We've listened to HR seminars telling us that men are problematic while women get promoted for vulnerability. We've listened to schools that pathologize boyhood as toxic behavior while girls get passes for bullying. We've listened as our sons were medicated, marginalized, and then told they're privileged. We've listened while no one listened to us. So when you tell me to stay out of the kitchen, remember this: men didn't just build the kitchen. We built the house, the power grid, the water system, and the internet you used to post your manifesto. We built the hospitals where you were born, the military that kept you safe, and the economy that allows you to buy rose quartz with your husband's credit card. And now you want to banish us from civilization like we're the invaders. You're not oppressed, you're overprivileged. And your awakening isn't enlightenment, it's entitlement with a thesaurus. You think emotional outbursts are spiritual warfare? Let me tell you what real war looks like. It's a father paying child support to an ex who blocked him from seeing his kids while she posts TikToks about self-love and healing crystals. That's not oppression, that's fraud. That's not patriarchy. It's matriarchy with a tax base funded by men. The truth is not hidden in rose quartz, it's buried in DNA test results. 30% of children in Western nations are being raised on a lie, their fathers cuckolded, their surnames stolen, their inheritance redirected to men who didn't earn it. And yet we're told to listen while women cry over memes. Spare me, I listened for years. I nodded while HR told me tone matters when I questioned a promotion given to a woman with half my output. I stayed quiet when my boss said men need to do better, without once asking if women should produce more. But now I speak, and not with tears, but with trivium, logic, grammar, rhetoric. And what do I see? A movement that has replaced evidence with emotion, justice with vengeance, and civilization with tantrums. You want to talk about cycles? Fine. The menstrual cycle is 28 days. The welfare dependency cycle is generational. The false accusation cycle ends in prison. The divorce cycle ends in bankruptcy. The The suicide cycle, 90% of which are men, ends in silence. And you want me to believe your mascara is war paint. Real war paint is the grime on a welder's face, the ink on a patent, the blood on a soldier's boot. You don't build hospitals with grounding stones. You build them with focus, discipline, and decades of study, 90% of which are done by men. When a woman says, "I don't need to be believed," what she's really saying is, "I don't need to be true," and that's the death of discourse. That's the end of truth. That's the victory of the Dark Legion. But not today. Today, you've seen through it. You've dissected the myth. You've reclaimed your mind. And now you walk out of the cathedral of chaos and into the sunlight of reason. Share this. Not because it's popular, but because it's true. And truth, unlike mascara, doesn't wash off. And now the sponsored book introduction. Radicalised Shrews. Feminism, the Dark Legion of Demons. In her chaotic, panicked, and raging heart. I was raised in a quiet Midwestern town where church bells rang on Sundays and fathers still taught their sons how to change oil. My dad was a mechanic with grease under his nails and a spine of steel. He believed in work, God, and keeping your word. My mother, though well-meaning, was the first to bring home library books about empowerment and breaking free from patriarchal structures. I didn't understand it then, but I felt it, a slow rot creeping into the home. The dinner table went from conversation to confrontation. My mother started blaming my father for everything, not just for leaving the toilet seat up, but for her unhappiness, her boredom, even her migraines. He stopped smiling. Then he stopped coming home. I watched a good man get dismantled, not by hardship or failure, but by the quiet, relentless erosion of female entitlement disguised as liberation. That experience wasn't unique. It's now the American baseline. I spent the next 20 years studying psychology, philosophy, history, and behavioral economics. I interviewed divorced men, surveyed incel forums, analyzed divorce court data, and studied fertility trends across the OECD. I read every feminist text from Simone de Beauvoir to Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, not to attack them blindly, but to understand the virus. What I found wasn't a movement for equality, it was a full-scale spiritual rebellion. Feminism isn't about rights. It's about rewriting reality so women are never at fault, never responsible, and always the victim. It's not progress. It's possession. This book is not for everyone. If you are a woman who believes in girl power, toxic masculinity, or thinks men need to do better, close this book now. Put it down. Pick up a yoga mat, a tarot deck, or a TikTok scroll session. Anything that keeps you from the truth, because the truth will shatter you. This book is for men who have been called misogynists for suggesting women should take accountability, for men who've been ghosted, smeared, or bankrupted by false accusations. For men who see the world collapsing fatherless homes, record male suicide, female-driven political hysteria, and wonder what the hell happened, this is your answer. You will learn how feminism channels the corrupted maternal instinct, not to nurture, but to dominate. How social media acts like a demonic amplifier, turning everyday women into rage-filled NPCs reciting the same slogans like possessed nuns. You'll see how equity is just revenge with a PowerPoint. How abortion isn't about healthcare. It's a ritual sacrifice to Lilith, the ancient demon of female defiance. 1 in 8 women worldwide have terminated a pregnancy. That's over 1 billion unborn lives. Follow the blood trail and you'll find a cult of death masquerading as freedom. We'll expose the BPD spectrum that grips modern womanhood, the emotional swings, the identity chaos, the compulsive gossip and shaming, the inability to tolerate disagreement without tears or accusations. You'll understand why women don't seek truth. They seek control, why they weaponize vulnerability, why they destroy competent men while elevating clowns and losers. This isn't hyperbole, it's epidemiology. The data is clear. Women are not oppressed. They are overprivileged, overprotected, and under-accountable, and they are dragging civilization into the mud. This book will give you the intellectual armor to resist the gynocentric propaganda flooding schools, media, and workplaces. You'll learn how to spot the cry-bully, the woman who claims abuse while kicking you in the ribs. You'll see the economic parasite model, women consuming 80% of consumer spending, while contributing less to long-term societal stability. You'll understand why merit is under attack, because merit exposes female mediocrity in high-pressure domains. And you'll discover the only solution, a masculine counterinsurgency, men reclaiming logic, hierarchy, responsibility, and the right to say no. If you are ready to see the world as it is, not as women and their media puppets want you to see it, then this book will change your life. It will anger you. It will liberate you. It will make you dangerous to the system. Read it, use it, survive with it.
Radicalised Shrews, Feminism, the Dark Legion of Demons in Her Chaotic, Panicked and Raging Heart, written by Conrad Riker. Buy now, links in description.